Oh, the internet's my old nemesis. We meet again. I'm Daniel from Cinema Brawls, the show where we put two movies head to head to figure out which one's better. And you are currently watching Daniel Plays Dark Souls and Rants About Movies. Let's get back into it. So, for those of you who skipped the last episode, please watch the last episode as well as like and subscribe to this. We really appreciate it. Thank you. But anyway, last episode I beat the Sanctuary Guardian to Ulasil, and I have never been to Ulasil before, and so this is a journey for all of us. And there's that giant mushroom, and I'm gonna go boop it. But today, as a source of discussion, we are going to be talking about Suspiria. So please bear with me on this. Suspiria is a 2018 movie directed by Luca Guadagnino, and stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Tilda Swinton, and Dakota Johnson. And it's fine. It's okay. So it's a remake of a 1970s.
The prince snatched away, and so I must. Thank you. I am something of a. I should assist you to my utmost, or I.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, sure. Why not? Ah.
Thou shalt see an abyss night without indeed still. May the flame.
Cool. All right. Anyway, so Suspiria was based off of a 1970s movie. It is a remake of it. And first off, here are a couple of things that I liked about it. I liked its use of language, specifically French and German. One thing that I thought was super interesting was that every time French or a German subtitle would come up, it would be color coded. It was either red or blue depending on the language. So that was kind of cool. That's not bad. Okay, I can do this. Yeah. So it was red for German and blue for French. There wasn't a whole lot of French, but I did like how it was color coordinated, so even laymen like me could understand the difference. Nice. Cool. Just a sec, sorry, it's kind of loud in my ears, so. Okay. So, with Suspiria, well, let me briefly run through this movie with you. So Suspiria 2018 is about a young girl. Well, let me say this. The movie starts out with a... Ooh, I'm not getting caught into that trap. The movie starts with a young girl who is visiting her therapist, kind of. Ah, yes. Cool. She's visiting her therapist, who states in a journal that we read and is in German but is conveniently subtitled in English, that she has had delusions, and that these delusions have I don't know that guy, I don't like that guy, have increased in the past. And she calls... Ooh, I really don't like that guy. Okay. Sorry. This guy is really hard. No. Oh. Wow. Okay. Oh man, did you guys see that? Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Suspiria, oh, man, I'm so bad at these. Suspiria starts out with a young woman who switches between a lot of different weird languages as she's talking to her do I go that way or do I not? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Let's look up and kind of take in here real quick. Alright. I think what I need to do, and I could be wrong, because I have actually seen videos of the DLC. No playthroughs necessarily, but I've seen like speedruns, I guess, and like the body videos, which you should totally see if you're into Dark Souls. It's really good. And it looks to me like I'm supposed to get to that. So let's try that. And then so the girl goes to the therapist. Therapist thinks she's crazy, and then cut to Dakota Johnson, who looks distinctly ginger. And she has... let's see... Yes. I'm going to kindle this bonfire real quick. Oh yeah, bald. I forgot about that. I've never been human in this playthrough. So she is a Amish girl from Ohio who has traveled to Berlin to become a dancer, and she auditions for this position as a dancer at this dance school in Berlin. In and of itself, not unheard of. Not even really that necessarily crazy in terms of, like, just in terms of story, right? But she goes on auditions, and one of the main dance coaches, played by Tilda Swinton, is super, super impressed with her. And she hires her on the spot, and there's this conversation that basically says that they don't pay their dancers really anything, but that they give free room and board. Ooh, ouch. And so Dakota Johnson she decides to take her chance, and cool. She decides to take her chance to become a dancer. So yeah, that's cool, right? That's and so she starts dancing. As she's dancing, she makes several friends and starts to get to know people. The instructor, again, Tilda Swinton, is just in awe at her ability to dance, and within like a couple of hours she goes from not having any formal training to dancing the lead in this dance thing, because she's seen it a lot at the library. And so she just knows how it's done and is able to do it. And then it's found out, not necessarily that she finds out, but that it is found out that, ooh, okay. Cool. It is found out by the audience. Like, at the very beginning, the girl that was crazy said that they're witches. And so you're like, okay, well, who are... Ooh, that is a big hole. Is there a ladder? Do I just drop? Dang it, if I just drop... That looks important. Don't know what to do. Okay. Okay. So there's stuff down there, and that's what leads to that. Which I think is what I go to, right? Or do I have to go around? I don't know. Should I drop? Yes, I'm gonna drop, but first, before I do that, I'm gonna reset the camera. Okay. So yes, in fact, back to Suspiria, I'm sorry. Yes, in fact, they are a coven of witches, and it's fine, it's okay, they're just in charge of everything, and it's fine, it's whatever, it's fine. And there are some actually kind of, like, there's one in particular gruesome death where Dakota Johnson is doing this dance, and the moves are reflected onto this other girl who is being tortured with it. Like, her body is moving in weird ways and contorting with this dance. It's weird, but it doesn't necessarily do anything, if that makes sense. So she's dancing, and then come to find out that girl at the beginning was actually actually supposed to be a vessel for eternal life for this other witch that they call Mother, that all the other witches call Mother. And so, as kind of part of that, mile away. See, it's a trap. A mile away. But as part of that, now Dakota Johnson is Man. So now Dakota Johnson is the newest sacrifice kind of a thing. Where they want her to give over her body willingly to this witch mother person. And while this is going on, the therapist, who was a it goes through great lengths to talk about how he had a wife and doesn't know what happened to her because of the Holocaust, basically. And so, well, there's that. And he is trying very, very, very hard to kind of figure out what happened not only to his wife but to this girl, and he is pretty sure that the Coven of Witches is responsible. And at the end of the movie, not very incredibly much happens. It paces itself like it's a subtle movie, but spoilers alert, it's not. So yeah, level up. I am going to level up. Intelligence, because I don't know what else to level up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get the Rite of Kindling and then go back to that.
You sorry fool.
I am a sorry fool. So, so at the end of the movie, the witches cast a projection that looks like this guy. His name is Yosef's dead wife, and tricks him into going back to the theater where they capture him, strip him naked, and where they capture him, they strip him naked, and they're about to have this sacrifice where Dakota Johnson's character, who I cannot remember her name for the life of me right now. It's actually kind of bugging me. Ooh. Where she is going to become the new body for this witch. And sorry, some backstory, the witch is, and spoilers, the witch mother claims that she is the embodiment of the High Witch Suspiriorum. And Dakota Johnson asks the witch lady, like, to which are you anointed? Meaning, basically, who are you, right? And the lady says Suspiriorum. And then Dakota Johnson summons this embodiment of... Ooh, ouch. This embodiment of death and says, no, I'm Suspiriorum. Why? There we go. Holy poop. And then half of the witches die. Just like immediately just die. They're gone. Their heads explode in very, very gruesome ways. And And then the lady takes the therapist guy back, and as a gesture of good faith, tells him what happened to his I think it's right here, to his wife. Spoilers, she's dead. And then the movie ends. And at first you kind of sit there like, okay, well, what was this movie trying to say? What was its purpose? Huh. Ooh. Really? Huh. Nice. And the answer to that question is absolutely nothing. The movie has nothing to say about anything. It is almost totally useless in terms of yeah, one cycled it. Ooh, what's that? Mask of the Father. Yeah, cool. I forgot what the Mask of the Father does. Dang. What does it do? Does it do anything? It's oh, it's got, no, that has no poise. It has, okay, magic defense, I guess. I'm still fat rolling, so that's nice. Is there a bonfire close by? Shortcut ahead. Sorry, I am still just do. That's it. I'm boning out. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What was I saying? Yeah, so she's a witch. Whatever. A couple of things I liked about the movie. First off, again, subtitles. That was kind of cool. I liked how there was some good instances of parallel action. Gotta see Dakota Johnson's boobs. Kind of. Other than that, this was a bad, boring movie. So, interesting tidbit, actually. So, as a kind of bad movie, this movie is actually almost a full hour longer than the original movie. so that is definitely a mark against it. I'm gonna upgrade this. Cool, fine. What else? I didn't like how Tilda Swinton played the old guy. And I'm gonna get flack for that. And I understand why. I don't understand why he needed to play that part, if that makes sense. It was why she needed to play that part. I kind of get what they were going for. It's a movie where the main cast is almost all women. There's only like 2 male speaking roles, and they only say like 1 or 2 lines each. Dang. And then it was just, and so I can understand why Tilda Swinton wanted to play basically the only prominent male role. But it was like the mouth movements didn't sync up very well. I understand that it was kind of like if you're just looking at a still image, yeah, it looks like just a normal guy. But if you're looking at at the actual acting, you can kind of tell that it's rubbery just because the guy, like, he just moved his mouth like a Muppet. There wasn't any lips in the movement. And so they had to kind of like film around that, but even then the mouth movements don't sync up because it just looks like a Muppet, just bop, 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 bop. Or more like yeah. The twist at the end, while it could have been engaging, was way too long getting there. It was a long movie. This was like 2.5 hours long. And 45 minutes in, both me and Katie were like, how long is this? What's going on? Like, it's hard to describe, but it was just kind of boring. And also, I didn't like the muted color palette. I didn't like how muted it was. The original was bright and vibrant, and that vibrancy of color gave it that mysterious, weird undertone. Instead, this one was like, saturation, what's that? I don't friggin' know what saturation is, except for the end, when it had like the stupidest frame rate problems. I don't know what they were thinking. That is a terrible aesthetic. They had this super cool, like, demon of death blowing people's heads up. That in and of itself could have been cool, but the way that they filmed it was they added a blur effect and then, like, was playing it back at like 12 frames a second. It was super jumpy, super weird. Like the frame rate and the shutter speed was all off, and I can understand the feeling of disorientation that maybe it was going for, but it still wasn't very good. It still just was not a good aesthetic to go with for the climax of your movie. I wish I could go deeper in depth with it, but I just really don't know a whole lot about it. Supposedly, the creator of the original film didn't care for the remake as much because he's like, what's the point? You've changed so much, why call it Suspiria? Suspiria was the color, and you have no color or dance or music, so why call it Suspiria? Oh, also the music. The music was actually pretty good. And I say that because the composer for the music was the lead singer for Radiohead. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Very decent music, at least. The dance numbers were okay. I'm always hesitant for dance numbers where the dance is in reality, where it's what's the word? Dialectic? I can't remember what that word is. But they were fine for what they were. They were dance numbers in the reality of the movie and not metaphorical. But I can see what they mean. It wasn't a great movie, but thank you so much for watching this episode, and thanks for getting all the way to the end here. Please like and subscribe, and please check out our other videos on the channel. I'm Daniel, and this has been Daniel Plays Dark Souls and Rants About Movies. Bye.